All right, folks, for all you Craftsman fans, Craftsman has released a new tool in their V20 platform. And I have to say, I'm really impressed. Very impressed. I'm going to go as far as saying probably the best compressor technology wise. I don't think value wise. I'm going to show you that in a second out there. All right, so this is the new Craftsman 2.5 gallon cordless compressor. Now they quietly released this. It's already available in store. Okay. Well, not if not in store, it can get shipped to store. Obviously, you can get it online here. But what a cool little compressor. Now made in the USA, which we like to see. I like to see anyway. Um, the problem is before I even start this is Lowe's, of course, just way overpriced, just insanely overpriced. And I don't even want to, it comes to the point now where we got the rigid at 229. We got the Ryobi, I think at 129, let's just say. I think, obviously over Christmas, I think it was $99. But is the rigid and the Craftsman just expensive, or is the DeWalt really cheap? You got to remember, for another $30, you're getting the DeWalt, which is still more powerful than this, with a flex volt battery and a charger for another 30 bucks. So that's really the issue here. But technology wise, guys, this is a 18 volt compressor. And when you look at the other 18 volt compressors, the Ryobi and the Rigid by TTI, they're 1 gallon. This is 2.5 gallon. They're 120 psi. This is 125 psi. And again, a much more versatile compressor compared to both of them, only because it has almost triple the capacity of the tank. So, again, if this price is a little insane when there's a DeWalt out there. And again, you don't even have to be in DeWalt's platform to buy it because you get the battery and the charger. But let's look at the specs on this. I didn't want to hit that. All right. 2.5 gallon. It can drive up to 700 nails. Now, we know the biggest battery in the Craftsman platform right now is a 4.0. So that can actually improve over time. It's 19.4 pounds, so very similar to the DeWalt. Now, this is where, again, pretty impressive here. And remember, this is an 18, the technology, again, to have a 2.5 gallon compressor that does 125 psi and, 2.5 gallon as an 18 volt. When that Milwaukee comes out, if it does, there's been some rumblings about a Milwaukee compressor. I would not be surprised if it's, a 4 gallon, 150 psi, because if they're doing this with a Craftsman here, it'll be something to see. But anyway, still not as strong as the DeWalt. Remember, the DeWalt has 135 max psi, and it has 1.2 SCFM at 90 psi and 1.5 at 40 psi. I believe this has 1.2 or 1.3 at 40 psi. Either 1.2 or 1.3, which is, fine. I want to say it's 80 decibels. All right, 19.4 pounds. We talked about that. Yeah, it's 1 SCFM at 90. It's 1 at 100 psi. So it kind of stays at that range. Again, I think 1.3 at 40, which is good. Got the electric start, of course. 2-year warranty on this. Okay. Um, which is pretty good. Because remember, a lot of times these other non power tools don't have the full 3-year warranty and stuff like that. Um, it's a single phase, a single stage. Obviously, it's a pancake, but a great new tool here from Craftsman, I have to say. The one thing I would have liked, these cordless compressors are awesome, right? They're very portable. They get moved around a little bit more than the non-cordless, so you're going to be throwing them in the back of the truck, in the back of the van, maybe trailers. I would have liked to seen some type of protection around this cage. I mean, a cage around this tank here. Um, it's really not unlike any of the non-cordless. They don't really have protection, but I love the design of the rigid, right? Especially the fact that it has protection around the tank and it could take 2 batteries. But um, yeah, just would have been nice. But again, very impressed to be able to do this with an 18-volt battery. If their V60 platform was still alive, that would have been something, huh? And you know what? While we're here, if you watch my Lowe's program the other day, we were really, yeah, see, it's still, um, they're discounting this stuff. Obviously, you can't even get it. Yeah, it's gone. So I remember getting so many comments last year when I was talking about the V60. It's in my opinion it was gone because it just, again, if you just use common sense to devalue the V60 line again, you know, a lawnmower that was $599 down to $200. That isn't just a fall clearance sale. And again, this was like in September. This wasn't in December for, more than 60% off. This was in like September where this blower I think was usually $229 down to $60, right? So it looks like the V60, just like I said, is gone. And again, I had so many people I talked to. There's no way they would do that after 1 year. And um, I talked to the guy at Lowe's, and he said, "No, never. This is selling like hotcakes." And I think someone even talked to someone pretty high up that the V60 was going nowhere. As you can see, it is gone. And it's gotten, I mean, really good reviews if you look at them. All the tools here, but they're gone. Currently unavailable. Obviously, this is now the busiest season of the year for OPE tools to be sold or to get ready to be put out. And, we'll have to see. It doesn't make sense. Now, what also could be possible, but I don't know why they would do that, only because these tools are fine. Again, the lawnmower was probably the best lithium ion mower I've ever used. So, there's one idea in my head besides it being discontinued is maybe they're revamping the tools, but the tools are fine. So I don't know. They're all messed up. I don't know. I hope. Now it could be also maybe Lowe's isn't selling this anymore because you remember Amazon is also a authorized seller of this Craftsman stuff. And I think Menards also sells Craftsman. Um, Maybe they're going to continue. I don't know. I don't know why they would stop it. I mean, unless sales were really that bad. And this is versus track compatible. I mean, it was a pretty, the line wasn't bad. They're keeping the 40-volt stuff. the trimmer. I mean, if you need batteries, they're gonna supposedly they have to carry the battery for a few years. Oh, I guess you can still get this. Let me see. Add to cart. Oh wow, $95. So if you well now the battery, unless I got something else in here. Yeah, $120. Lowe's is just out of their mind. What they are such a poorly run company. I like someone is really gonna pay 30 $25 more than the tool itself to get this shipped to them. All right, but anyway, this is about the compressor. Great job here by Craftsman, right? Again, some great technology here, being able to do this little, and this looks more like the traditional 6-gallon pancake compressors, right? Obviously, just a little bit smaller, but the price. Remember, this is brushless. Again, I don't know why they don't advertise this as a brushless. So they're adding another brushless tool to their line, which is good because they really only have an impact driver, a drill driver. They have that impact wrench with no speed selector. That's brushless too. So this is brushless. I just noticed by looking right here. But again, Lowe's website. Whoever is in charge over there really, I can't zoom in here, but it's brushless. So the runtime, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, runtime is it's really hard to gauge. A lot of them don't really give what your runtime is on these, but obviously they just go by how many nails that you can um, do on a single charge. Remember, this is with a 4 amp hour battery. Obviously, the Ryobi, Rigid, and DeWalt have much larger batteries in their platform, but I'm sure a bigger battery will come from Craftsman at some point, and that'll obviously improve this. Again, much more versatile, I believe, than the Rigid and the Ryobi. Size-wise, again, if you're looking for a true 1 gallon, that's why the Rigid is really it's a shame because it's a great design, but it's expensive. It's much bigger than the Ryobi. It's much more expensive. And for the same size that you're going to have with the Rigid, you got the DeWalt, and now you got this one. Really not much bigger than the Rigid. So, again, I would spend another $40 on this one over the Rigid. But maybe we'll see a Gen 2 version. Who knows? But Craftsman cordless compressor available now. Peace.